Go anybody.
Hey.
Go anybody, baby. All right.
Hey guys.
Hi Joe.
What's going on?
Hello. How y'all doing?
Get a new camera?
Yeah, one of the many.
What's going on, buddy? Went out and exercised my constitutional right to protest the day before the 4th of July.
Good.
You know, seeing as we're going into what, 6 years of war here coming up, and a little distraught that the Democratic Congress was going to stop the war. What's it been, 2 years ago now? So the congressman was here, and you know, so
are we any closer?
No, Congress is the one. Isn't Congress the branch that is the police watchdogs over the executive branch? I believe, from what I remember from the 6th grade.
Where are you going to be next Wednesday evening? What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be at the 911 Truth.
At where?
At where?
Laughing Horse Books.
Oh, is that Laughing Horse?
At Laughing Horse Books,
At Laughing
12
Horse
North
Books.
10th Avenue, live on web radio. Alex Ansary, Outside the Box. We the People RadioNetwork.com.
Yeah,
WTPRN.com.
Right.
WT what?
WTPRN.com. That's where you can hear it live. But better come on down and say something. It's going to be a town hall meeting.
Good.
And I'm going to say, I'm going to say something for 911 Truth. Instead of digging through all the thermite, through all the building 11 or 7, and all that whole investigation, there's just one thing you need to know to ask yourself. Okay, after 600 pounds of jet fuel and everything burning up on there, how did that one passport of that so-called terrorist wind up on the floor there? And they found it in 2 different places. Okay, forget about the thermite and everything else. That's enough to know it's what? Bullshit. You know,
A passport was laying outside all that rough.
oh yeah, it made it through the 600 pounds of jet fuel that burns at what, 800, you know, fried everybody.
Unlike
All
telephones
pieces of the
and
jet, the whole thing.
cabinets.
But its passport was over.
Are we supposed to believe that?
Just like us. Yeah. Well, here's another one on one of my
Okay.
theories that's gone way out, a wacky surge theory. Do you think the government would have trusted 19 people to crash those planes into the World Trade Center? What if one of them messed up and it didn't happen? They needed to just go down. Wouldn't they just use one of those little microchips they probably put in the plane? The plane was overtaken. Maybe there was no terrorists in there and we're computerly smashed into the building. That's also a possibility. Because would you take the risk of the human factor? What if one of us crazy Americans said, you know, give me back the keys to that plane? You know, you never know. So I don't think they would have took a chance. I would have think their computers would have, you know, or they had a backup
remote
on
control.
Yeah, I mean, why would they waste their time with terrorists? They
Interesting.
want the job done, you know, trust the computer. So just a theory, not sure if that happened, you know. It's a possibility though on there. But you know, what we need to know is the passport.
You know, one of the things that I really respect about all of us who come out here is that is that we really try to be very true to ourselves and true to what's going on. And even though there's certain people we fall in love with who are running, like I did with Obama, it doesn't mean that he, you know, walks on water, right? And so there's been some things that he's been doing the last couple of weeks that, you know, have not been exactly what a lot of us who are out here on the streets looking for impeachment and looking to turn this country around have been particularly pleased with. So I think what happens is we get here and then we all discuss how far is Obama going to go to the center, and is he going to move away from really appreciating and understanding what a lot of the progressive on the streets have been talking about. And it's still too early to see what's going on there, but it certainly has made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. His position on FISA and his position about moving over towards evangelicals and continuing to give money to the evangelical causes. And, you know, those are small items, and that's not to say that perhaps he's trying to widen it, but it does make me feel a little nervous and a little uncomfortable.
Sure.
And I would love, if anything, to see him go to the left, but that's always going to be tough.
And I kind of thought he sort of was. I mean, I felt that when he first was starting to speak out, and you were mentioning him a few times down here, and some of his anti-war, bring the troops home stuff.
Absolutely.
But I'm kind of concerned too, as you just mentioned, about where going to the center a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a big discussion these days, and where he's at.
And the question is why does he really have to go to the center? Why is it that we can't really have a truly progressive candidate? I mean, clearly he energized the entire country, at least during the Democratic primaries. Well, those people were really energized, and it wasn't because he was making centrist, safe, conservative statements.
Yeah.
And so then that makes me sort of wonder, well, okay, what's he doing the last couple of weeks? And, you know, I'm not worried yet, but it does make me feel a little uncomfortable.
Something I just heard on the radio, they were mentioning this very subject, and they said that the guy thought that was talking, he thought that the far left people will still vote for him regardless, in the progressive, so he can go to center and try to gain those people because the left's already going to back him.
And that's a really good point, and that's spoken like the old Washington, but let's not forget what Barack Obama always said. He said, I'm the new, I'm not the old.
Yeah.
I represent, I'm always going to tell you what's true. I'm not going to, you know, sit there and just try to play up to you. I'm going to do the hard, you know, decisions and the hard calls, and what it looks like to me is that the really hard calls, he's not doing them right now. And it's just troublesome because, you know, I want to say if Barack Obama is watching this, Barack, baby, come back to us.
It reminds me of a lot how we supported Congress and we got the Democratic control of a Congress.
Yes.
And we felt so much hope and inspire and enthusiasm and like, right on, things are going to change. And then it slipped through our hands.
Yes.
They sat there,
yes.
and I have the feeling that the same thing is probably happening. I hate to say it, and I don't like to think that way, but I have a feeling the same thing's going to happen. It's superficial. Everybody's excited and we're pushing for the change and the hope and the good ideas, but is it going to materialize, or is it just going to become stagnant and slip through our hands again?
I used to tell a lot of my friends out here on the street who are much more percentage centric and Edwards fans that if I could only get 5% of what Obama purports to believe in, purports to do, I'll be happy. Well, I started with 100% because I was so enamored with him when he ran. Well, I'm down to 90.
Yeah.
Okay, with his FISA stand, and also he went to AIPAC, and then he came back sort of blustering about Iran when he used to say, you know, we sit down with the people we disagree with. And so, you know, there's a long ways to go from 100% to 5%, but I just really wish that I don't have a 5% president. I would really love to have a 100% or 90% president that I could really feel great about, but I'll take 5. So
Yeah,
there's my answer.
Yeah. I'm still waiting and holding my breath to see how Ralph Nader fits into all this as it gets closer. I'm just real curious to some of the issues, and if he could get into the debates and really start talking and get it to be kind of a more of a possibility than the 6 or the 10% he's riding at. I'm anxious, and I'm just curious to see how that's going to rattle things up as it gets closer.
Let's not forget Cynthia McKinney.
And Cynthia's a great another option. Yes.
The candidate for the Green Party, and oh my gosh, talk about an anti-war.
Yeah.
She's the one that called the issues on 911 at the very beginning. She wanted to have hearings to say what really went on there. Very much against the Patriot Act and surveillance. I mean, she's really my candidate.
You bet. She really excites me too, and the whole Green Party excites me. And Michael Mayo's been speaking up real well, anti-war.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to think too, maybe it's just a full Green Party ticket all the way across. Maybe that might be how we make change.
So what we do here is really important. So we need to pull these people back, you know, from going too far to the center and yank them back over where they belong.
Get things corrected.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for telling me.